You thought the month of May was a grind? Welcome to the June sizzle. Over the last 5 days, the racing universe has entered its absolute peak summer form, and the action has been relentless on both dirt and asphalt. We've seen Kyle Larson completely decimate Midwestern clay fields during the week, and we watched Denny Hamlin pull off an emotional last to first charge at Michigan on Sunday to tie the late Kyle Busch on the all-time Cup wins list. Add in a heart-stopping 65 thousandths of a second photo finish over in the Truck Series, and then Carson Macedo's clinical slide job at Angel Park, and a wild Pennsylvania posse duel at Williams Grove, and we have a massive slate of drama to dissect. It's Monday, June 8th, 2026, and we're going deep, technical, and completely unfiltered. Oh, and stick around because we've got a massive announcement about where we're taking Switching Grooves next. I'm Russ Fritz,
And I'm Nathan Johns.
and we're telling you to strap in tight, put that visor down, and get the tear offs ready because this isn't just racing.
This is Switchin Grooves.
What's going on, Nathan?
Not much. How are you, Russ?
Oh, well, not bad. Just been kind of busy lately, having a lot
Oh,
of
I know that feeling.
work at the house that I had to get done, and it's finally getting done.
We got a
So,
lot going on at our house. Also, got to get ready for all our trips we got this summer.
well, it's been a wild couple of weeks for me. So I'll tell you.
Been a wild a
Um,
few weeks in the racing world too.
I know. So let's kick off with Interstate Batteries High Limit Racing. The Roto-Rooter Midweek Series brought the heavy hitters to Wisconsin and North Dakota, and it was a week of extreme dominance mixed with championship-altering drama. We start, I always have a hard time pronouncing this. Menominee, Wisconsin's Red Cedar Raceway. That's a hell of a name.
A tongue
Menominee.
twister and a half. Holy cow!
Exactly. Kyle Larson and the Silva Motorsports number 57 team actually put on what was arguably the most dominant display in high limit history. Larson started on the front row next to pole sitter Brent Marks and beat him to the line off the start. By lap 4, Larson was already slicing through heavy traffic. His pace was absolutely terrifying. He was bouncing off the cushion, carving through back markers at angles that didn't even look aerodynamically possible. It was insane. If you thought you couldn't get a car through there, Larson proved you wrong.
He found a way to put it in there. Hi,
He
tonight.
sure.
Hi, Jason. I can't talk tonight.
Before a lap 24 caution reset the field, though, Larson had actually pulled out to a mind-boggling 10-second lead and was on pace to lap up to the fifth place position. And it was insane. And he was just on a rail. But after the restart, he checked out again to actually win by over 3 seconds, securing back to back midweek series victories. Brett Marks finished second for his third consecutive runner up finish, and Justin Peck finished third. But the very next night, the tour actually marched into Superior, Wisconsin for Gondeglaw Speedway's debut. Jason Persley won the dash to earn the pole, but Larson starting third was the shark in the water. That we'll just put it that way. Um, when the green dropped, Persley led pretty early on, but Larson actually used the momentum off of the backstretch to blast into the lead. I mean, he just drove right on by. And I just can't believe how much speed that this 57 team brings. I mean, Silva and his crew know their car and they know their driver. So it's absolutely insane how that team just clicks together and can get things done. So, um, a brief rain shower, though, actually halted the action mid race. And on the restart, Justin Peck threw a massive slide job at Larson, but Larson crossed him back over, maintained his lane, and drove away to the win by 1.5 seconds. That made it a perfect 3-for-3 sweep of the Roto Rooter midweek races for Kyle Larson. Severe storms washed out Friday's highly anticipated debut at Minnesota's I-94 EMR Speedway, forcing the high rollers to pivot straight over to North Dakota. On Saturday night, Dakota Speedway in Mandan, North Dakota, hosted its tour debut. After missing the podium in 3 consecutive races, Aaron Reitzel and the Ridge and Sons Racing number 87 team bounced back in a massive way. Reitzel outdueled Brent Marks in a physical, high-speed battle to score his 7th high-limit win off the 2026 season. Reitzel's victory actually keeps him locked in a very tight championship battle with Rico Aber for the points. And moving over to World of Outlaws, well, the tour headed east to Michigan and Wisconsin, and while Mother Nature took a bite out of Friday, Sunday night was an absolute classic. The Outlaws were set to bring the Pure Michigan Showdown to Hartford Speedway for the first time in 7 years. Unfortunately, though, severe weather models showing high probability thunderstorms, strong winds, and hail forced the track and series officials to postpone the event. They are currently looking for a viable makeup date, so hopefully
That's
they can get that race
unfortunate.
in because I'd like to see them get back to Hartford.
That'd be pretty
Um,
cool.
on Sunday, the series descended on Sun Prairie, Wisconsin, for the prestigious Ted Johnson Memorial at Angel Park Speedway. The track was tricky, slick, and demanded absolute precision. Garrett Williamson drew the pole and took the early lead, but the story of the night was actually Carson Macedo in the Jason Johnson Racing number 41. Carson Macedo actually finished or started fifth on the grid, but executed a clinic on the very bottom line, and it took him just 5 laps to climb into the runner-up spot. From there, it was nothing but a high-stakes game of cat and mouse through lap traffic as Macedo stalked Garrett Williamson. The defining moment actually came on lap 29 for a restart, where Macedo timed his takeoff, or what we should just say it, acceleration. Macedo timed it perfectly. Um, he threw a massive slide job deep into turn one, cleared Williamson, and Williamson had no counter move, and Macedo just checked out to claim his 4th Outlaws win and his 62nd of his career. Sheldon Haudenschild mounted a late race charge to finish second, and local Wisconsin legend Bill Balog actually made his home state crowd proud by finishing third. Most importantly, Macedo's victory sliced David Gravel's championship points lead down to just 70 points. So it's getting close. Now the chase, though, is officially on. Let's shift our focus over to Central Pennsylvania, where the All-Star Circuit of Champions kicked off their June tour with the wild and storied Lynn Paxton Classic at Williams Grove Speedway on Friday. And this was, 8,000 to win, 30-lap non-stop barn burner. Famed PA Posse veteran Lance DeWeese was slated to start on the front row next to Cale Thomas, but disaster struck during pace laps, and DeWeese suffered a flat right rear tire, forcing him to the work area before the green flag ever even flew.
Wow.
So that actually moved Danny Dietrich to the front row outside, and Dietrich blasted into the early lead, pulling out to nearly 3 seconds by lap 6. But local point leader Troy Wagaman Jr., driving the Hefner owned number 27, was lurking. On lap 15, Dietrich actually had to take severe evasive action to miss a spin, sideways lap car in turn 2. And that was the split second opening that Wagaman needed to just blow right by into the lead. Kind of sucked for Danny, but the battle wasn't done. Dietrich gathered his car, hunted Wagaman down, and took the lead back with a slide job with just 6 laps to go. But just 1 lap later, Wagaman drove right by Dietrich and reclaimed the lead for good, winning a thriller by 1.2 or 1.12 seconds. And um, it was awesome. You should have seen it. Brady Bacon actually rounded up the podium with a strong third place run, while TJ Stutz and Chase Dietz complete the top five. So, and it was cool. I, I don't know. Go back and watch it. If you could watch the replay, just go back and watch it. It'll be on Flow Racing. But let's look at the local hotbeds of Ohio sprint car racing. Attica Raceway Park at Fremont Speedway had incredibly different weekends, defined by dominant local wind and the inevitable summer rain of Mother Nature. Attica actually hosted its mid-season championship night, and not even the Attica Challenge could stop Cap Henry. Starting eighth on the grid, Henry actually sliced through the field to score his 31st career 410 sprint car victory at Ohio's finest racing speed plant, Attica Raceway Park. Zeth Sabo continued his breakout season with a second place finish, and Ricky Peterson rounded out the podium. In the 305 division, five-time track champion Jamie Miller put last year's chassis back together and dominated all 25 laps, running or lapping up to 8th place to secure his 51st career Attica win.
That's
Uh,
crazy.
it's amazing. You get a new car and it isn't worth a shit. You throw last year's car back together and boom, you're golden. It's just crazy how it works.
That's crazy.
Fremont was set to host the Vision Quest Plaza Lanes Hall of Fame induction night, but unfortunately, the notorious Midwest spring weather struck again, and persistent rain forced officials to call a rainout. Mother Nature, we love you this year. Now, let's swap the tear offs for the tire sensors and shift our focus to the asphalt of Michigan International Speedway. And for
Tire
that,
sensors. Wait a minute. What? We still get the windshield tear offs.
it was
I'm
it
very
was more of a
confused now.
it was more of a joke, man. But
Ah, I see. I see. So we do need to address the elephant in the room. It may be summer storm season, but unfortunately, in the NASCAR Cup Series, it is still hurricane season. We did go to Michigan, which is Carson, host of ours, hometown, home state. But man, that dude has had anything and anything happen to him while he's in Michigan. I think he blew a tire last year. This year, just hit everything and the pace car. Crazy Cup Series race, tons of hard hits, tons of really pissed off drivers, and the points championship just keeps getting closer and closer. I mean, I hate Denny Hamlin, but I'm starting to hear the music. Denny, Denny. We all
shut
thought
up.
Tyler Reddick was too far out there, and we're starting to hear the regular season championship getting closer and closer. And I'm hearing the Jaws music. Denny, 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 Denny. Yeah, it's getting crazy. It's also a severe case of deja vu at Michigan this week. Last week, Denny Hamlin jumped the start, had to go to the back, came back, won the race. This week, didn't jump the start, but still started at the back due to basically dragging the whole underbody off the car. Still started last, still won the race, and avoided some major accidents in the process somehow. But we do need to go back to the Truck Series race before I get too ahead of myself. Truck Series race, I watched bits and pieces of it. It was, in my opinion, it was okay. It wasn't the most exciting Truck Series race. I mean, it is a 2 mile track. There's not a whole lot of condensedness. But the finish definitely got a little excitement out of me. What was it? Caden Honeycutt and Corey Heim nose to tail, coming to the line, pretty close. I forget how close it was a finish. Did you say it was, Russ? I forget exactly what it was.
I didn't say anything about the finish here yet.
Oh,
We didn't talk.
I thought you said in the intro it was a really close. How close it was. I forget exactly how close the finish
Oh,
was.
the intro. I don't even remember what I said.
Yeah. Oh, it was 65 1,000th of a second. That's what it was.
Yeah, I didn't
Point
actually put the.
zero six five was the margin of victory. They were basically nose to tail. Cletus, granted, he did not have the greatest day, but there was improvements. He did finish on the lead lap. Yes, he did spin out at one point, which I still don't really think that was entirely his fault, but he did save the truck and did not wreck it. And that, I think, is a bonus in his eyes. Plus, he managed to somehow, some way, finish on the lead lap without going a lap down with the leaders directly behind him, which I thought was kind of crazy. I mean, they were like right there. He almost impacted this finish. He was the last car on the lead lap, which is I gotta give Cletus. You finally finished on the lead lap. That's something to be proud of in his eyes because he's done horribly in the last two races for him. So, congrats to Cletus on that race. I really don't have a whole lot of highlights from the truck race. Just a lot of people getting up out of the groove. There wasn't really a whole lot of cautions I noticed. Not quite the case with the Cup Series race. But one highlight that did stick out to me is Caden Honeycutt was upset with the way his teammate Corey Heim ran him. And I want to read this quote just because it does make me laugh. So Corey Heim was asked about the comments by his teammate Caden Honeycutt on how he felt about his racing. And Corey Heim quite literally said, "Get thicker skin." I will say that I have noticed Caden Honeycutt complains an awful lot. But when Corey Heim can just rattle off "get thicker skin," maybe Caden needs to start looking into, how he reacts with the media. I know he's, been upset with how, he's finished lately. But, I mean, to be fair, Corey Heim is kind of cherry picking in the Cup Series. He's just, bush wouldn't call it bushwhacking. I'd more call it truck whacking.
Huh.
He obviously does not belong in the truck series because he's just too good. I don't really remember him doing very much in the O'Reilly series, but I'm sure he would do pretty decent there. But now he's Cup Series racing. So I mean, they announced he's going full time in Cup Series, so it's kind of already been determined that he's too good for trucks, and he's essentially doing what Kyle used to do, just come down to a lower series and just absolutely kick the crap out of the truck series regulars. So I can understand Caden's frustrations, but in the words of Corey Heim, get thicker skin, man. I mean, you've come up close. You gotta want it. You gotta dig a little deeper if you really want to beat Corey. That's just my 2 cents on that one. There was not very many cautions in the truck series. That was not the case with the trucks or the Cup Series race. Truck Series race had very little cautions. Cup Series had a whole bunch. I think they broke the record with 10. I mean, heck, we even had a red flag during this race. There was a ton of action. I guess I should start with the major incident of the race before I talk about Carson's chaos. I forget exactly what lap it was on, but they had a restart, and Chase Elliott and Christopher Bell were side by side going into turn 3. Chase got loose, and as he went to correct, the car hooked and absolutely just destroyed the outside wall, along with sending Christopher Bell into the outside wall first. I saw reports that Christopher Bell hurt his ankle and his wrist, and there has been photo surfacing of him having some sort of either brace or cast on his left hand. So it's not looking good for Christopher Bell. There's been quite a few photos with him carrying, sporting a cast. That had to be one of the hardest hits I have seen in a very long time. Like I always said that
Yeah,
the
it was
Austin Dillon hit at Atlanta that very first year was an absolutely brutal hit. But when you can hit the wall hard enough that it bows back 50% of, like, there's the foam cushion and it almost touches the concrete wall on the outside, and then it stays that way, like it didn't just bounce back and go in and bounce back. It stayed like 50% in there. That was just an absolutely vicious, violent hit. I don't know if I've ever seen a hit like that ever. Like that was the angles that Prime showed, like, were chilling to watch. That wall crushed and then didn't, like, sponge back like it's supposed to. It crushed and stayed crushed. That's how hard they hit that wall. So my thoughts go out to Christopher Bell. That almost makes me think of space shuttle style G's, or space shuttle equivalent G's, because that was just a nasty, gnarly hit. I mean, it literally ripped the windshield off the right side of the car. You could see the camera got moved when he hit the wall. He hit so hard, and that normally doesn't happen when you hit the wall on the onboard replays or onboard shots. I've never seen a camera move the way that camera moved. The windshield looked like it got ripped off. That was just wild to me. But and that wasn't even the biggest crash of the day. We had a massive hit with that one, but we had two 9-car crashes. We're not at Talladega or Daytona. We're at Michigan. That doesn't happen. Oh, yes, it does. The first one was caused by Carson Hocevar getting into, I believe, is the back of Ty Gibbs, and just caused a chain reaction crash. The front row was Kyle Larson and Chase Elliott, and just, for some reason or another, there was no communication on the radio about it, but it almost looks like they tried to let each other in, and it stacked up the inside line. Carson said on the radio that it seems like somebody had spun the tires or missed a shift, which, based on how fast he caught Ty Gibbs, I wouldn't argue that perspective. I mean, he caught them very quickly. So, I mean, I can give him that point, but when he knows he's been in the Cup Series long enough that when you get to somebody, you can't just turn while you're on their bumper. He essentially turned Ty Gibbs into the outside to the outside line, which tipped Tyler Reddick. And I don't know if I've ever seen a car back into the wall hard enough that it ricochets back out into traffic and, collects more cars. I mean, that's a bad spot on the wall, but Tyler Reddick backed into the inside wall and then ricocheted across the track, collecting Austin Dillon, which was still a pretty vicious crash. That ended up taking out Tyler Reddick, I believe Ty Gibbs, Austin Dillon. Denny Hamlin somehow spun through it. Never hit anything, but spun through the accident. I'm trying to think who else was involved in that. But at least 9 cars were involved in that. And I believe it was after the Chase Elliott and Christopher Bell crash. We had another 9-car crash on the front stretch with, I believe it was Stenhouse. And Stenhouse and Priest were involved. Priest just got turned. Like, I don't even know how you put it any other way. He was just an innocent victim in that crash. Before I forget, I guess I missed a few comments. No, Jason, I will not be at Pocono this weekend. I'm saving up for a future, possibly Switchin Grooves episode at a special track, and I will cover that other story here shortly. But yeah, just lots of chaos, lots of crashes, and just eventfulness at Michigan this week. And then on top of all the already emotions of Christopher Bell and Chase Elliott crash, Denny Hamlin actually won this week, tying Kyle Busch for, I believe it's ninth on the all-time wins list in NASCAR. I believe it's 63 he has now. So they are tied at 63. And I don't know how many people caught this in the post-race, coverage, that Denny Hamlin is planning to retire within the next 2 years. So that he did reiterate that he plans to retire by at least 2028. So
Oh,
the reign of
let's
will end soon.
let's also mention that Denny Hamlin claimed his 50th career pole position for
I
this
didn't
race
even know
too.
that fact. I didn't even know that
He
one.
he actually had to start at the rear of the 37 car field because of unapproved adjustments. The JGR crew actually had to repair the bottom of his car after a flat left rear tire damaged during practice.
Oh, I
So
didn't even know that. I thought he drug it off in qualifying. I didn't even know that one. Okay.
it could have been qualifying. I could be wrong. I'm just
I
trying
believe
to
it was.
remember.
I believe it was drug off during qualifying. He qualified on the pole, and then they had to repair it because it drug the underbody off. Supposedly, that's at least what I saw in reports.
So up front though, Reddick dominated early. Claimed the stage one win. Chase Elliott won stage two, and like you said though,
After
the afternoon was literally defined
carnage,
by what do you want to let's say it was
car.
defined by high speed survival.
Yes. With this
I
with
mean,
this crash for Tyler Reddick, it marks the first DNF of this season for him, which is absolutely insane to me. That he started with 6 wins on the year, and he is now only 51 points ahead of Denny Hamlin, which, you know, after being almost 300 points up on Denny Hamlin at one point, the fact that he is only 51 points of Denny Hamlin and only 157 points ahead of third place Ryan Blaney is just baffling to me that all those points just disappeared. Absolutely crazy to me.
it, it's it was a crazy wild day of racing for NASCAR.
I'm
I
just reading
cannot
back through these
believe
comments and I'm laughing here. Sorry.
I can't believe how much it was, but it all started on what lap 83 when Hocevar misjudged a push and then spun John Hunter.
I don't even
And
know if it was a misjudge or he wasn't expecting it, but still in those moments you can't just turn. Like I believe he said someone on the radio of it was an thought they missed a shift and it was like an oh shit, what do I do? You know, he's been in the Cup Series long enough that the first reaction should not be just a turn, while you're pushing somebody. Like when you catch them that quickly, you're supposed to, I would think you'd stay with them. Given the experience he's had, he knows he can't just turn across somebody's bumper because that will turn them. But I mean, I can argue the missing the shift part. I can't really argue the just turning on the start. He definitely misjudged it. He definitely just hooked John Hunter right into the outside wall. It wasn't even like hooked him, he just turned him.
well, that actually turned John Hunter Nemechek and Bubba Wallace into each other. And that resulted in a chain reaction, which triggered just a huge multi car pileup and it actually ended Tyler Reddick's day. And then we get to what? Lap 48, where Elliott and Bell collided. And that
That had
was
to have been the scariest crash I've ever seen. And then
absolutely,
watching
that's
Chase hit the
crazy.
inside wall was what was even more terrifying because that car just did not stop. It spun all the way from the outside wall to the inside wall and then nosed into the tire barrier. Like I was very concerned that Chase Elliott was hurt. I wasn't even, I wasn't really, worried about Christopher Bell until after the fact when they mentioned he didn't do any media availability and then there was reports that he hurt his arm and his leg and his wrist, And then the photo surfacing of him getting in the helicopter with the cast on his arm is definitely a scary, scary thought.
I'll tell you, the only hit that I can really compare that to would be the hit that Jimmy Johnson took into the tire barrier at Watkins Glen decades ago.
Oh, I don't even know if I'd classify that one as that close. I was thinking Austin Dillon at Atlanta a few years back. Like it was almost Elliott Sadler esque, but it didn't rip the engine out of the car for this one. Like that was just a brutal, brutal
And
hit.
that brought out what, a 20-minute red flag? I mean, that's how
I
bad
believe
it
that's what
was.
it was. They had to fix the wall. It bent the
Yeah.
metal tubing to where it didn't come back, which is just insane to me that they hit that hard and the wall didn't come back. That just shows the amount of force they hit that wall with. I mean, they hit that. I mean, I understand it's on a curve, but they hit that thing at like a 45-degree angle. Like it wasn't head on, but it certainly wasn't a side swipe hit. That was like a drive it into the wall type of thing. And what made it even scary is when Christopher Bell hit, he ricocheted off and hit Chase, who then put him back into the wall, both of them. Just violent, violent impact.
Despite all of that, Hamlin actually survived all this chaos and seized the lap back with, or the lead back with what, 38 laps to go, I believe, something like that, and actually checked out to score just a blowout victory, dude. He
I
beat
believe it was
Eric,
11 seconds.
and he beat Eric Jones by 11.11 seconds.
He was
And
toying with them. That's what he was doing.
Wallace actually got third. Larson got fourth, and Hocevar finished in fifth.
With the
And
fastest lap, it says.
yeah, that's true. The victory is actually what we already said is 63rd career win for Denny Hamlin, which did tie him for Kyle Busch, or with Kyle Busch for ninth on the all-time wins list. And in an incredibly emotional victory lap, Hamlin drove around the track waving a black and white number 18 Kyle Busch flag. Since he was a Joe Gibbs, he's on Joe Gibbs' team. That's why they did that. If anybody's, you know, I probably would have had one that had an 18 and an 8 on it, but whatever. Either way, it was awesome that they gave a tribute to him. And it actually drew a standing ovation from the sold out Michigan crowd, which didn't look very sold out, but uh,
Yeah,
with
that's
Red
little.
with Reddick's DNF there, now Hamlin has actually cut the regular season points deficit down to just 51 points. So,
Yeah. The
and
only.
the
Good.
the just a note to everybody, the O'Reilly series was off this weekend, and they will just head to Pocono for the 13th this weekend. So,
And no, I will not be at Pocono this weekend. I wish I could. I didn't purchase tickets. We are currently planning a. I'm gonna call it a special edition episode for Switching Grooves if it does in fact turn out that way. But we are planning a little bit of a vacation trip, so hopefully do a little bit of NASCAR work. I'm going on a solo trip. We'll call it that. Um,
and I,
but
I do have I do have one more dirt update for anybody that thinks I
okay.
forgot something.
Oh
I
no.
I did I didn't forget it. I saved it for last. So when we're finished with NASCAR, I'll finish with the dirt. So
But to recap on some of the NASCAR stuff that I was seeing in the comments, thank you for Jason. Thank you, Jason, for bringing some of these up. I just hadn't gotten to them yet. I don't know if you caught it, Russ, but the rock paper scissors by
jeez.
Carson Hocevar in the comment or in the pre-race might have been the greatest thing I've ever seen. You got to see the others, like obviously the broadcast didn't make any sense, but when you add the guy in who was playing against them, his point of view made it way funnier. I think they did that I think it was a graduation in Michigan years and years and years ago, but it wasn't Carson Hocevar. So that's why it's like super funny to me that they tried that during the broadcast for the Truck Series, I think it was, which was pretty great. And then this is kind of a late breaking story. I just saw this prior to hopping on here tonight. So thank you, Jason, for bringing it up. Daniel Dye will be driving the Live Fast Motorsports 78 car at the Brickyard 400. I have mixed emotions on this. Um, Daniel Dye, great in the ARCA series. And as some of you may know, he raced in the Truck Series before he made some insensitive comments about David Malukas and IndyCar during their IndyCar weekend, and I believe it was St. Petersburg. Um, so he lost his ride with Ram and Kaulig. Went down, did some ARCA starts, came back. I think it was McAnally Racing in the Truck Series for his own sponsorships. Got to put his own charity on the car. Got to do that Champion Containers company. Really has no experience, at least good experience in the O'Reilly Series. And we talked about this early in the year. If he goes to Cup, he kind of just took the Kyle Larson route. He is essentially the Timu, Kyle Larson route, which doesn't really doesn't make Kyle Larson sound very good. But I mean, that's essentially what it is. It's the knockoff route that Kyle Larson did. I don't really agree with this move, but at the same time, it is a relatively low quality ride. So I guess it's not as bad as it could be. But I still think that this is not, something that, you know, should be taken, you know, lightly.
Is
Like
it
he
is it
really has
that
no business being in the Cup Series in general.
is it that the car that Martin Truex won the championship in?
The number,
Yeah.
I mean, years and years and years ago, yeah, it's not the same team though. Same car number, different team.
Okay, I get. Okay.
Live Fast Motorsports is a 78 car. To put this in perspective, it's the same team that Catherine Legg ran for at the 600 and lost a wheel. So, I mean, in theory, it's not worst. It's not best, not best case scenario for him, but it's certainly not the greatest, situation that NASCAR's in right now with that. I
That's what I couldn't remember what the team was,
Furniture
Jason.
Row,
Thank you.
yeah. Live Fast. So I didn't realize what you were asking. Yeah, 78 was Furniture Row. Now it's Live Fast. I still am kind of on the fence about, how I feel about that one. I don't feel like it's deserved, but, you know, I can't really say anything cuz I'm not in NASCAR. Another comment that Jason brought up because I caught this during the post race interview also. Brent Cruz in with talks with Denny Hamlin. I really think that Brent Cruz could be brought up somewhere. I don't know if it's going to be with Joe Gibbs when Denny Hamlin retires. I feel like that's a bit of a stretch, but he is a strong candidate in the Toyota camp. So I am kind of curious how that's going to go, but I do think the 2 years will do him good. I don't. If Denny wins this year, which I hope not, but if he wins this year, I really hope they don't bring Brent Cruz up to the 11 because that'll really drop the stocks of the 11 team because I don't think he's ready yet. But yeah, there's a lot going on in silly season news. It's just getting sillier as we go. We still have no word if Alex Bowman's coming back. We don't know who is going to replace that car. We have no idea when Denny's leaving. Just chaos throughout the racing world. And then
That's
I don't know if you have this in your notes, Russ, but I saw something about Donnie Schatz got fired
no,
from some sort of team, or if that was some sort of joke. But it
no.
was kind of funny.
They had they did a little video, and it was more like a meme video. Donnie was pulling his gear bag and carrying another bag or something like that, and the guy behind the camera was like, Donnie, where are you going? What happened? Like, I don't know exactly what they said, but
I guess he got
Don,
fired. They could put him in a little white trailer or something. That's what I
they
was told.
they told him he was here. He told him, yeah, I guess I'm fired. I got to move on to bigger and better things. They got a what it was is they actually got a new hauler for his car, so
Oh,
he was
okay. I
moving
just saw
from
that. Wasn't sure what was going on there, but that one made me laugh.
he
Um,
was moving from trailer to trailer is all it was, but it was kind of funny though.
but I just when it comes to Pocono this week, I'm hoping. Honestly, we're not going to have higher horsepower for this week, so it kind of just defeats the purpose of having a whole lot to be excited for. But at the same time, you never know what's going to happen. I always thought Michigan was kind of a boring race, and this one was nothing close to what I expected. It was a little bit more chaotic than I thought. And I always thought Pocono was kind of boring when it came to racing. Because Denny Hamlin always dominates it. I still think he will probably end up dominating it or being a major role in the race. But you know, we'll see what happens. I'm more excited for the rest of the season. I mean, we got what Pocono, and then San Diego, and then we start the in-season tournament, which I still think is the dumbest thing ever. But I mean,
You play it. I mean, it's so dumb. You play it.
I played it only because I wanted to get the points on NASCAR fan rewards. It's not that I wanted to. On the bright side, at least we're not going to all lose our brackets in round one. Because unless they have some sort of, the NASCAR 2003 simulator thing where they all drive into turn one and wreck, I don't think we're all going to lose our brackets round one this year. Thank goodness. And I don't even think Atlanta is even. Oh, no, unfortunately, Atlanta is in this one. Oh, darn. Well, at least we get through the first two rounds before all our brackets get blown up. We got what? Sonoma, Chicagoland for the 4th of July weekend. Echo Park, North Wilkesboro gets their first points race. Kind of excited about that one. And then we're back to Indy for round 5, the championship of the in-season tournament. And then we get what? 2, 4. Get 4 races for the chase starts. Going to be a crazy next few months. I'm getting excited about it, if you can't already tell.
I see that.
I know we don't cover a whole lot of late model news, but there was quite a few tributes for Kyle Busch, and I tuned in a little bit. What is going on at Eldora, Russ? We got cars flying through the air. This looks like a sprint car race nowadays. It was wild.
I don't know. I don't follow late models, so
We had what? We had at least what 2 late models, or no? Yeah, at least one late model rollover, and I think the same guy caught air twice in the same weekend, which is wild to me.
I didn't.
We're
I didn't
everybody's
watch
trying to be a
any.
sprint car. Everybody's trying to be
I
sprint cars nowadays.
I didn't watch any of the Dream, to be honest with you. I mean,
I watched the
like I said,
highlights. I didn't actually watch the race.
I was super busy this weekend. There's electrical work going on in the house and all kinds of stuff. So just trying to get
It's
that finished.
shocking you that you're getting it all done.
Yeah, it's been almost a year. So,
That's really shocking to me.
well, when contractors want to be douchebags and walk out on you,
That's really
what do
shocking,
you do?
Russ.
So,
That's really shocking. Come on, Jason,
yeah,
help me out here. I know you're in the
yes,
comments.
I got it,
You're in the
Nathan. I got
comments.
it. I just
I was
was it.
hoping somebody would react. It only took like 3 rounds of it.
I got it the first time. I was just kind of letting it go.
Trying to not laugh at my jokes. I see how you are.
I was trying to finish what I was saying.
Oh, okay, I guess. Uh,
But
so, what is this
speaking,
big news we speak of? I'm curious
well,
now.
I because after I do
Oh,
this,
there's more.
I'm gonna close the show out when after we do this. It may not be an hour, but we don't have to go an hour. But I know we both got to get up super early in the morning. So,
It's the shortest
but
episode I think I've ever done.
But I'll tell you, you want to talk about a tearjerker. Okay. Sheldon Haudenschild suited up and got behind the wheel of his KCP Racing number 18 with a heavily broken heart Saturday night. Just that morning, right there in the driveway of Plymouth, the Plymouth, Wisconsin track, Sheldon and his wife sadly lost their beloved dog Pella, who had actually been their constant companion throughout their entire racing journey. Um, Fought through a flood of raw emotion, Sheldon climbed into the cockpit of his car, and I don't know what, he just turned a record shattering crowd into chaos when he won this race. But uh, he didn't just show up. He went out and he won it for Pella. Early on, it looked like a classic heavyweight duel. David Gravel in the big game number two, Buddy Kofoid in the Roth 83 actually traded haymakers for the top spot, exchanging slide jobs, crossovers, and lane swaps in a breathtaking battle. But the race was interrupted on lap 16 when Will Garrett's flipped hard in turn two after he tagged the infield tire. That always sucks. I don't know how many times I've seen that. Uh, once they were once they went green again, Kofoid found speed on the cushion like he always does. He swept around Gravel to take the lead on lap 25. Gravel slid him right back to reclaim the lead on lap 26 and 27, but lap 29, disaster struck for the points leader as Gravel actually was executing a slide job to defend the lead from Kofoid. He went a little too high and clipped a vicious rut in turn four and caught the wall pretty hard, just destroying the rear end of his car. I mean, it like bars were falling off of it. The rear end was junk coming out of it. I mean, they were not going to fix that car to get him back out. So that actually made him, take it back to the trailer and DNF that race. So for David, that sucks because this was supposed to be redemption at this track. He did the same thing last year. He had a DNF, and he just can't catch a break from this racetrack. So, um, but that caution actually set up a frantic 7 lap shootout, and Sheldon Haudenschild had actually struggled early, dropping as far back as eighth, but his car suddenly came alive on restarts. Glued to the bottom, Sheldon actually reeled in Kofoid and motored past him with 5 laps to go. And Kofoid absolutely had no answer as Haudenschild just checked out for an incredible emotional victory. In victory lane, uh, emotional as all get out, Haudenschild snapped a 21 race winless drought and secured his second victory of 2026 and I believe the 48th of his outlaw career. Kofoid finished second to claim his 11th podium of the year, while Garrett Williamson put together a stellar performance to finish third in that Fisher Motorsports number 23. That actually marks his best finish of the season. And Cole Macedo and Carson Macedo completed top five at Angel Park Speedway uh, or not Angel Park, Plymouth. Angel Park was last night. But uh, man, you could not believe the tears that this guy was holding back. I it was very, you could see how much it was, it hurt him. And I understand, a pet can be like a child to you, especially if you don't have any children of your own yourself. So just crazy. But I don't know. Uh, what a week, though. Whether it's Kyle Larson executing a perfect Midwestern clean sweep, Carson Macedo timing a restart slide job to perfection at Angel Park, Troy Wagaman Jr. outdueling Danny Dietrich at Williams Grove, or Denny Hamlin's legendary charge to tie Kyle Busch at Michigan. Excuse me. This is the absolute peak of the racing season. So, um, I'll say, the heat is rising. The tracks are starting to slick off, and the margins are actually getting smaller. So make sure you're subscribed because the next time you see me, well, we're going to be live from some of the best dirt tracks in Ohio because
Ooh,
Switchin Grooves will be following Ohio Sprint Speed Week.
cool.
So that's our big announcement. That's the biggest announcement in the history of the channel so far. We've been hitting at it. We've been prepping the rig, and now it's official. So Switcher Grooves is going on the road full time for Ohio Sprint Speed Week.
That's
So
exciting.
this is like the ultimate grueling, soul crushing summer grind for race teams and fans that follow the entire week. We're talking about multiple tracks across 9 straight days of the most intense 410 wing sprint car racing on the planet. Actually, it's 9 straight days, but there is a break on Wednesday. Unless we get a rain out before Wednesday, that will be used as a rain date. So, from Attica Raceway Park's high octane opener, as usual, every year, to the historic dirt at Fremont and Atomic Speedway, we will be trackside in the pits and bringing you daily raw technical video recaps of every single night. But say we're loading up the cameras, packing all the gear, and heading straight out into the heart of Buckeye Country. So you don't want to miss it. So
Oh, I just realized that starts in like 4 days for you.
Friday night, but Friday's not looking.
Unfortunately, I will not make like the majority of those. We'll be preparing for our pavement edition of Switching Grooves. So,
Well, Friday is actually not looking very good already, which kind of sucks. But hopefully that changes, and we can get the show in. So, or they could get the show in. I mean, either way, I could get a show in. But
yeah.
um, before we go, anything to add, Nathan?
Nothing off the top of the head. I'm excited for the upcoming NASCAR schedule. I'm excited that Switching Grooves is going on the road with the Ohio Sprint Week. Kind of wish I could be there, but at the same time, I got some other stuff currently going on the NASCAR end that I had prior commitments with. So
We'll be on the road by myself, so um, anybody wants to join me, let me know. Obviously, you're gonna have to pay your share of things because I'm not gonna cover it for you. But um, hey, let's go have some fun. You know, I got an entire week off of work, so
whoop
I've
whoop.
always want I've always wanted to do this, so I'm gonna do it. And I think it's gonna be fun. I know it's gonna be tiring and it's gonna be a long week, but it'll actually go by very quickly. But if you know any drivers or fans or crew members, anybody that might like to join me on the show, maybe do an interview or two, or just talk about racing or the action that's going on throughout the week, send them to the Switcher Grooves camper. I'll be in the campground. I'll have a sign, you know, with the logo of the show out in front of the camper, and it'll be easy to find me. So I think it'll be a lot of fun. I did it last year for the Jim Ford Classic at Fremont Speedway. The very weekend that I bought the camper, I took it straight from the dealership to the racetrack. I didn't even take it home. So it was crazy, but it was a
Don't
lot of
forget you
fun.
came out for High Limit too. You didn't come out for the camper, but you came out and did a live show from High Limit.
Well, yeah, but this is still a little bit bigger news than that because it's a whole
You're
week.
traveling, yeah.
So
I'm waiting for the news, and we I know we got fans over there. I'm waiting for the news to come out that we're going to what is it, Lisborne Speedway or what it is, Lismore. I'm still waiting for that to come out. Got my fingers
yeah,
crossed for it.
we gotta go all the way to Australia for that.
I know. I'm waiting for that big announcement to come out.
I don't even have a passport anymore. Mine expired.
We gotta get you a passport so we can go watch racing down under. That was a horrible Australian accent, but it was worth a try.
She said we could be guest announcers if we showed up.
Heck, that'd be awesome. I'm not gonna lie, I'd do that.
Yeah, they were pretty fun. I like those guys. They were pretty cool. We got to sit with them in the
That was a lot
stands
of
for a
fun.
while, and it was awesome to do. But, well, I think I'm all finished. What about you?
I'm all good. I'm all good.
Remember, we bring you race recaps, breakdowns, and all those insane adrenaline packed moments every week. Whether you live for those sideways, mudslinging, dirt track slide jobs, or the door banging, paint trading action in NASCAR, you belong right here. Hit that subscribe button now so you never miss a finish. And until next time, keep switching grooves. I'm Russ Fritz,
And I'm Nathan Johns.
and we're telling you to race hard,
Stay safe.
and we'll see you there. See you next week, guys.
Good night, everybody.